So if you've ever heard the term or the saying that it's just supply and demand, well, that's what we're covering this week. Supply and demand are just basically schedules of how much I'll sell at what price, how much I'll buy at what price. And demand, you guys, that's gonna be the first video. You guys get demand. You've been demanders since the day you were born. You were born demanders. You're like the great white shark of consumerism. You know, great white sharks swim around and eat things. You guys walk around and buy things. So let's start there. Let's start with demand. I'm not going to use the specific examples in the book because I feel like that gives you another example that you can work your way through in the reading. But what I do like to use is an everyday example that everyone can understand. My personal favorite, I like Skittles. You guys like Skittles? The little taste of the rainbow candy. Well, you know, if Skittles are more expensive, I'll buy less of them. If Skittles are less expensive, I buy more of them. So in a normal classroom setting, what I would do is I'd pick out, 3 to 5 people, and I'd say, hey, you're person 1, you're person 2, you're person 3, so on and so forth. And I'd say, hey, the price of Skittles is this, how much do you want? And human nature, people being rational, as the price gets more expensive, they want less. So let's start by writing down, doing that exercise, and let's talk about 3 different people at 3 different prices. So Skittles being bought by 3 different people at 3 different prices. So let's get started with price number 1. Let's say it's $1 for a bag of king-size Skittles. Price number 2, let's say it's $2. And price number 3, let's say it's $3. And then let's go person number 1, person 2, okay, and person 3. Now, you can survey people. It's like, hey, if a bag of Skittles costs this much, how much would you buy in a week? And they'll tell you. And then you can repeat that survey across a lot of different people and a lot of different prices. So if we do that exercise here, I'm going to pretend like we're surveying 3 different people, and then I'm going to add up what they want, and that's my total quantity demanded. So if person 1 says, you know what, at $1 in a week, I will buy, let's say a bag a day, I'll buy 7, okay? And then person 2 says, you know what, in a week, I really like Skittles, I'm going to get 10 bags. And then person 3 says, I like Skittles, I don't like them as much as you guys, I'll get 4 a week, so maybe every other day. So then we can total up how many Skittles we're doing here. And so 7 plus 10, 17 plus 4 is 21. And at $1, we sold 21, or excuse me, we bought 21 bags of Skittles together. Let's say that price doubles, okay? So let's make us a table here. Alright, kind of drew a line right through my 4 there. Let's go back up here and do that. And then we have a total down here. And then let's go a price of $2. So price doubles. Person 1, it would make 0 sense. They wouldn't be rational if they said, you know what, I want to double, I want to buy 14. No, it's more expensive, so they're going to buy less. Let's say they go down to 6. Okay? Person 2 says, you know what, they're more expensive, I'm going to go down to, let's say, 7. And person 3 says, you know what, I'll price double, I'll cut it in half, I want to buy 2. And so we add up our total here. We got 6 plus 7 plus 2, so we got, what, 15. So what you're seeing here is as the price goes up, the quantity demanded of Skittles goes down. Okay? Make my table a little more even here. Let's say price now is $3, so it's really expensive. Person 1 says, you know, I still like Skittles. I don't like them that much. But I still want 4 bags a day, or 4 bags a week. Excuse me. Person 2 says, I think I'm going to drop down to 2. And person 3 says, I don't want Skittles anymore. So we can add this up. And we got 6. So what do we notice here as the price of Skittles goes up? Well, we notice that as the price goes up, the quantity demanded goes down. So that's a negative relationship. Okay? This is known as the law of demand. Okay? As prices go up, quantity demanded goes down. So as things become more expensive, you want less of it. What do we call this table up here? Well, this is called a demand schedule. And that's great and all, but these tables get really sticky when you say you want to survey, say, 10,000 customers. All right, I can look at it 3 and I can pick out a lot of stuff here. But wouldn't it be easier if we had some sort of visual representation that simplifies what all these numbers would be in that situation? Well, guess what? You can put it in Excel, you can have it graphed, and we can graph what's called a demand curve. So we can put two axes. We can put price on the vertical axis. We can put quantity on the horizontal axis. This is a price of 0. This is a very high price. This is a quantity of 0. This is a very high quantity out to the right. So when you're thinking about, going up and down here, I don't want you to think when we're talking supply and demand up and down. I want you to think left and right. So this is 0 and this is a lot. Okay? So when you move left, you're moving towards 0, that's a decrease. When you're moving right, you're moving towards a lot, so that's an increase. Let's pick some prices here. Let's say $1, $2, $3. All right, and then I'm gonna put some random quantities on here. I don't know, 6, 15, 21, on out here to a lot, okay? And then let's play my favorite game from kindergarten, technically my second favorite game from kindergarten. But let's plot some lines here. So at $1, okay, when we were looking at $1, people demanded 21 bags of Skittles. So at $1, let's come on across here. Draw a dot. I'm sorry, I went already over to a lot. Draw a dot at 21. Drop a line. Now we have our first coordinate. Okay. At $2, we wanted 15 bags of Skittles. Draw a line, and a dot, drop your line, now you have a second coordinate. At $3, and in keeping with the law of demand here, when the price goes up, coin demand goes down, at $3 I think we only bought 6. So at $3 we bought 6, so at $3 come over here, dot, down to 6. Now, favorite game for kindergarten, connect these dots. What you got there? It's a demand curve. A demand curve is a visual representation of the demand schedule. It's a simplification. Everybody's like, well, that's 3 people. I could just look at that. Well, what if it's 10,000 people? You can't really tell a whole lot. And then really, if you think about it, each one of these people have their own demand curve, okay? Because you would have to plot, 7, 6, and 4. 10, 7, and 2. Okay, at these different prices, okay, you'd have the same thing. And you're just adding all these demand curves up, and then person 3 has a demand curve to equal one big demand curve, which is what we just drew over here. All right, so this is like a collective demand curve here. And we have, again, quantity on the horizontal axis, price on the vertical axis. And then we said, law of demand, when price goes up, coin demand goes down, that's a negative relationship. Guess what? That negative relationship is illustrated by this negatively sloped, downward sloping curve. This tells you as price goes up, coin demanded is going to go down because it's a negatively sloped line. So that is the basis behind a demand curve. Come back for the next video and we will do the same thing for a supply curve, which is actually more challenging because we're born demanders, but we're not really great at being suppliers because you know what? If you're in the supply business, if price goes up, your temptation is to say, well, then quantity goes down. You don't think that far ahead. If price goes up, you're willing to sell more of your stuff. Come back to the next video and we will get into that.